Do you have any memory from that period that sometime you remember, even in this age?
No, I just remember liking to play outside at recess.
In which age you were? I mean, how old are you that period? In that period?
That was,
You were 8, 9, starting off the school, I mean.
no, 7 years old till,
11, 12.
like, yeah, till 12,
I see.
7
Okay,
to 12.
then what happened? You finished that. Just this I wonder, when you go to this Catholic school, the government considered that you finished primary school, isn't it? I
Yes.
mean, this is not something, yeah, I understand. But it means there is few kind of schools here. Ordinary school and religious school, we can say. Or,
Right.
I see.
Yeah, it was a religious school, and then I begged my parents if I could go to the public school. Because I told my parents, well, the public school has more stuff like, science labs and cooking classes and the band, and that was like attractive to me. So they reluctantly let me go there. They didn't want me to leave the Catholic school. They wanted me to go all the way through to high school. But I was able to talk them into letting me go to the public school. So then I went to junior high in Burlington, Wisconsin. So I lived, 20 like years in that town. 24 years I lived in Wisconsin, sorry.
So you go to ordinary college? Or?
Yeah, I went to college after that. I went to the junior high, and then I went to Burlington High School.
Then, do you have any memory from that period? How was your lectures? I mean, how was your relation with the teachers? According to your teachers, you are which kind of student?
I would say, yeah, just a good student. I mean, like, I wasn't the best one, but I was a good student, yeah. And
You like your teachers, which one is that affects you so much? The lectures, which one you were usually interested in?
I liked the teacher who had the class who taught us how to be radio announcers. He made like a little radio station, and it broadcast like throughout the city, and he took us to Chicago to do our exam for the FCC license to be an engineer. And he was really, really interested in the kids and seeing to your success. That teacher, his name was Mr. Havel.
By the way, when you go to religious school, you were staying in a dormitory or with your family?
Oh no, I walked to school every morning from my home and walked home.
Okay. At the college, what did you study? Generally, what's the main subject?
I went to University of Wisconsin-Madison. I studied political science.
You finished that?
Yes, I graduated with a BA in political science, and I went to work then for the Democratic Party of Wisconsin.
You act in the politics?
Yes, I did. I was in the
Talk about that, Paris.
Okay, well, when I finished my degree at the University of Wisconsin, I was like, okay, well, in 6 months, at the end of the school when I was a senior, I was like, okay, well, in 6 months I'm going to be graduating. Now what am I supposed to do with political science degree? Because I took it because I liked the classes, and I thought I could pass the classes. So I looked in the newspaper, because at that time, if you want any work, you check newspapers, okay? And there was a thing in there that said that they needed volunteers at the Democratic Party. So I went over there and I volunteered during the last 6 months of my senior year, and then when I graduated, they hired me. So I worked in the Democratic Party headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, and then I did mostly administrative work, but then after that I got into campaigns and fundraising, and it was a great experience. And
why you participated in that party? You liked the ideology of that party, or you were planning to make money? What was your impulse to especially to participate in politics?
yeah, I did believe in the Democratic. Yeah, I did believe in the Democratic Party. So it was. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, of course. But what was their? Because really we don't know what's the meaning of Democratic Party in USA. What was their mind? I mean, what's their belief?
Their belief is like more like liberal ideas, and more government control, more government programs. hmm And the Republicans were just like, more tax breaks for the rich, and then if they want to make jobs for people, they can.
How old are you in that time? How old are you?
I was 22.
22, yeah, 22 years old. Right. So
And then I worked for the Democratic Party for 3 years.
I see. They like your working style. How was your relation with the other members?
Oh my God, it was like so great. We just had the best time. It was an unbelievable experience. And I also, at the end of it, I interned in a state senator's office at the end too. I was really, really glad to do something with my degree.
Good. So, sister, if you want to break, I mean, for rest,
No, I'm okay. We
it's
can
okay,
keep going.
We can continue then. Then after some time we have a break.
Yeah.
Did you finish, the working period is finished that time, or I think you do a lot of things after that. Where did you work? What did you do? Not,
Yeah.
I mean, we want to know that where did you work, because after this question will come your converting. So don't go to the converting story. This tell where did you work then? I mean, the biography or working, I don't know how you say in English, you understand?
Yeah, okay, well, now we
Chronology.
start to get into like the wake-up period. Okay, what I call, like waking up to,
You want to start from okay, we start from. But first you say that what you know before about Islam and Muslims, then come into the subject, how you convert to Islam. Yeah,
okay.
but please speak in this like 10, 20
Well,
minutes more inshallah.
At the time when I was at the University of Wisconsin, I met a few students here and there who were from Middle Eastern countries. And still, I still hadn't even heard of Islam by the time. I knew like little bits and pieces, but I didn't know what you called their religion, and I didn't know anything like about it. Like I knew enough like to ask them a few questions like, is that where the pilgrimage to Mecca is? Like something like that. I would know something like that. Or I thought the Quran was from Sudan. Just really strange stuff.
Then how you convert to Islam? Can you come to this important subject?
No, it does. I have to tell more about the story about what was my work after that.
Okay, yeah, okay. You organize.
Can I ask her what she's doing with the cat?
Yeah.
What are you doing with the cat? But she's making noise.
Then how you convert to Islam? Can you come to this important subject?
Okay, after I resigned from the Democratic Party job, actually before I did, I had an opportunity to go to Kenya. So I went over there and I became a teacher at a school over there, 250 miles northwest of Nairobi, at a school called Kaptagat Girls. It was a Catholic missionary school called a Harambee school. And I was a teacher there of English. There was a bishop, a Catholic bishop, who hired me, and I taught English, home science, and commerce at that school. It was a girls' boarding school. And I stayed there in 1982 and 1983. I became the acting principal in 1983, which was like one of the hardest things I ever did in my whole life. But then I decided I wanted to come back to America, and so then I left that job and came home. And I went to paralegal school in Chicago. And I became a paralegal, a corporate paralegal. And I started living in Chicago.
I'm sorry. Let's continue after that from Chicago. You were in Africa, Nairobi, you said?
No, 250 miles west of Nairobi, in a small village.
Nairobi, that place was in Nairobi state, Nairobi country?
Kenya. Kenya is the name of the country.
Kenya, name of the country, Kenya. Yeah, I know that country, yeah. Well, why did you select to go? Because you are going to look, this is very important, because you have been in a how you say, missionary school. So this is very important for you. You must open the subject. You must talk like a story. Half an hour you must speak, because if we have the pictures, we will make editing.
Mhm.
So this is important. Your background, we must make long as much as, how do you say it? Long.
Yeah.
We need to speak with more. Okay.
Mhm.